Hey everybody, John Van Dyke here from New Jersey Exposed. Today is Saturday, August 28th, 2021. Time is 6:06 p.m. Jersey time. Okay, well, we got another very common story. Let's see, which one is this one going to be? Is it sex, violence against a woman, violating somebody's rights, stealing? Well, I guess you know from the story, from the headline of the video. Okay, this is a report on metrotimes.com, and that came out on August 25th, 2021, and it reads as follows. Taylor cop charged with assault, misconduct in office for repeatedly punching suspect. Wow, a cop punching a suspect. What a surprise, people, right? Okay, so here's the story right there. I'm sure all the bootlickers out there, boot polishers, the blue ball tossers, the blue kissers, whatever you want to call yourselves, I'm sure they have an excuse for this one. Well, you know, he probably was resisting if he just did what the officer told him to do. All right, let's find out what happened, because I didn't read the whole story, or I don't read anything of the story, I don't think. A Taylor police officer was charged with assault and misconduct in office on Wednesday after prosecutors say he pointed a gun at a suspect and repeatedly punched him following a traffic stop in April 2020. Look at these cops and these anger issues. Whatever it is that they're doing to try to filter out bad cops, when they're hiring them, it's not working. It's not working, law enforcement. Officer Tyler Peak, 23, I was a young guy. So this really comes back to what I've said in the past where, you know, you should not be able to hire officers till the age of 30 so that they start calming down a little bit and be a little more mature and stop trying to fight, because young guys like to fight. He was also a felony count of Officer Tyler Peak, 23, faces up to 5 years in prison. Well, we know that's not going to happen. On a felony count of misconduct in office, he was also charged with a misdemeanor count of assault and battery. Well, we all know what's going to happen here, folks, as always. The lawyer's going to tell him to go down and go get some therapy. You know, he has anger issues, and he's getting therapy, and he'll come to court with a bunch of reports how the officer is very sorry and he has a history and the pressures of the job and all. It's just too much for a young man of his age, and yeah, that's what we're going to hear, right? Mark, I'm not going to, probably will never know, but anybody out there wants to follow that story, I'm sure that's what the narrative's going to be. The Wayne County Prosecutor's Office said police were responding to a domestic disturbance when officers located suspect Brendan Morris driving towards a gas station on the 8350 block of Telegraph. The 3 patrol cars with 7 officers responded. Wow, 7 officers. Boy, it's a slow night, huh? And Morgan pulled into the gas station. Peak is accused of pointing his handgun at Morgan, instructing him to get out of his car. When Morgan rolled down his window and raised both hands, Peak punched him in the face, the prosecutor said. After officers forcefully removed Morgan from his county, Peak allegedly struck Morgan multiple times while he was on the ground. I'm surprised they didn't bring the dog in to rip the guy's arms apart. Violence. You know, so he's punching this guy and doing all these things while the rest of the heroes are standing around doing nothing, right? Those heroes that allowed that to happen, they should be charged also. The encounter was caught on body-worn cameras as well as cameras on patrol car. Judge Gino D. Simone of the 23rd District Court gave Peak a personal bond and suspended his concealed pistol license. A preliminary examination is set for September 8th. On April 2nd, 2020, Morgan was charged with several counts, including resisting and obstructing. Well, what's this have to do with the guy? That's the guy that they dragged out of the car. But during the preliminary examination on July 27, 2020, a judge dismissed the charges, saying there wasn't sufficient evidence to warrant a trial. Yeah, because everything that happened was a result of them escalating the situation. The guy's in his car, he puts the window down, he puts his hands out, hey, don't hurt me, don't hurt me. And when he do, poof, right in the face. Yet they are well-trained professionals, dedicated professional heroes, out there risking our lives as they protect and serve the government and all the blue ball bouncers, blue kissers, bootleggers, boot polishers, support the police, back the blue, bullshitters out there, all lily whites. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna go right on record and say this is a lily white thing, all this ass kissing, blue ass kissing. This is a lily white thing. And it's getting worse because we're living in paranoia right now. Paranoia is the norm, and these lily whites are so afraid of life and everything that they're taking the least of the worst here in their mind. They think the police, well, you know, the police are protecting us and we need them because we live in fear. They'll make excuses for this. I'm sure they're gonna say, well, you know, he must have did something that wasn't right. Why otherwise would that cop punch him in the face? Well, he probably punched him in the face because he's a sociopath, that's why.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Don't get me going, people. I'm so sick of reading these stories to you. It's always the same stories all the time. Hurting some suspect, punching him, violence perpetrated against a person, against a citizen, violence against a woman, sexual violence against children, exploitation of children, stealing, domestic violence, it's all the same. And lying on reports, it's all the same crap all the time. And law enforcement is in denial. Back the blue BSers, they're in denial. Everybody turns a blind eye because they're all paranoid and they feel they need the police to protect them from their fears. I'll put the link in the description. Go read it yourself. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Till next time, people.
It sound right, boys.
We are getting a look at body cam video of a violent arrest that resulted in a Taylor police officer being arrested.
Tyler Mead was arraigned today on the charges stemming from the incident that happened all the way back in April of 2020. Jason Colthorpe live at the Taylor Police Department tonight with a deeper dive into this video. Jason.
Karen, not only was that video strong enough to land a police officer behind bars, the man behind the wheel during his preliminary exam last year, when the judge saw this, it was enough for him to dismiss the resisting arrest charges. Take a look.
Video from several Taylor police officers' body cameras showing them swarming a suspect in his vehicle after being pulled over in the parking lot of a gas station April 1st, 2020. Then one officer punches the man in the car.
And his hands were up.
Todd Perkins is the man's attorney. His client apparently had a fight with his girlfriend about 1:30 a.m. and prosecutors say she called police when he left to go to the store. On his way back, he stopped. 7 officers, some with guns drawn, approach his car and within seconds yank him out. And then when he's on the ground,
you can hear them in concert saying, "Stop resisting." How is he resisting when there are numerous officers who have, you know, your arms, your legs?
The officer who allegedly threw the punch, 23-year-old Tyler Peak, is the one who was arraigned Wednesday for misconduct in office.
My client is happy to be alive. He didn't think he was going to be alive. He still suffers from these events.
Hit me in the head 10 times, bro.
Welcome to Taylor. You know, Taylor, like I said, they get a little asterisk by their name because I think that they're extra special in their negative treatment towards African Americans.
Just to reiterate what you heard in that last piece of the video there, the man says, "You hit me in the head like 10 times," and the officer says, "Welcome to Taylor." Speaking of the Taylor Police Department, they did acknowledge this today, but only in that, saying that an officer has been charged and been put on administrative leave, and that's all they plan to say about this as the case moves forward. Karen?
Jason, there is a lot going on in that video. Could more charges be coming?
Absolutely. We're hearing the prosecutor is looking at this very carefully, and anybody who watches this the first time, it's hard to pick out which officer would have been charged in all this. Like you say, it's very chaotic to look at. So that's happening, and I'm told there could be something related to the preliminary exam that also happened last year. So there's a lot to keep track of, and we will do just that. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Jason.